The moment we take our last breath is not the end but the beginning of a journey. For over 1,000 years, the Tibetan Book of the Dead has detailed the process of what happens after death. But here's the truth most never recognize. Death is not a void. It's a passage, an initiation. The soul begins a test to determine if it will ascend or descend. Example, imagine standing at the edge of a vast chasm, feeling weightless detached, with no heartbeat and no breath. It's the first moment after death, and while it seems like an end, it's actually the beginning of a test of awareness. Upon passing, the soul faces the clear light, a radiant light described as so overwhelming that it dissolves one's very existence. Tibetan teachings explain that if the soul recognizes this light and surrenders to it, it can break free from the cycle of birth and death forever. Near-death experiences often report a similar moment: a sudden light, a sense of peace, and an overwhelming feeling of unity with the universe. But here's the catch: most of us never recognize it for what it truly is. Most souls, however, are conditioned to fear the unknown, and that fear creates the illusions that follow death. Instead of embracing the light, they recoil. They hear voices, see shadows, and experience distorted versions of familiar places and people. These are all projections of their own minds, created out of fear and attachment to the past. Imagine your most cherished memories and relationships, but they appear distorted, fragmented, or even hostile. That's the power of fear post-death. The mind creates illusions to hold on to what it knows, but none of it is real. Now enters the bardo, the space between life and the next existence. It's a place of transition, where everything is fluid. The soul has no body, no voice, only awareness. But this is where confusion begins. The soul tries to return to the world of the living, lingering in familiar places, clinging to memories. Imagine floating through a vast, dark void, without a body, without the distractions of life. Time bends in strange ways. 1 second feels like eternity, while days pass in the blink of an eye. It's a surreal experience. The Tibetan Book of the Dead reveals that the soul must relive its entire existence. Every decision, every action is replayed in a life review. This is not an external judgment, it is the soul judging itself. It must confront the raw reality of its own choices. Many near-death experiences describe a feeling of reviewing one's life, seeing both the good and bad choices. In this life review, the soul cannot hide from its decisions. The weight of regrets and unfinished business will determine what comes next. The soul faces a final choice. Will it recognize the illusion and transcend, or will it be pulled back into the cycle of reincarnation? The Bardo teaches that those who are fully prepared for this moment, those who have trained their minds during their lifetime, can break free from the cycle. But for most, the pull of attachment is too strong. Imagine being offered a way out, a path that leads to liberation. But before you can grasp it, your mind is flooded with desires, attachments, and fears. If you don't let go, you'll be pulled back into the cycle of birth and death once more. If we are to transcend the cycle of reincarnation, we must begin preparing now. While we are still alive, detachment is the first step. This doesn't mean rejecting life, it means understanding that nothing in this world is permanent. Your body, your possessions, your identity, all of it will pass away. Think about the things you cling to in life: money, status, relationships. Now imagine letting go of all those attachments. Once you do, you can begin to see through the illusions that trap you in life and in death. The Bardo is full of illusions, and life is no different. If we fail to see through the illusions in life, we will not see through them in death. Meditation, self-inquiry, and deep reflection are practices that help train the mind to see reality as it truly is. Only by breaking free from illusions can the soul transcend the cycle. Death is not something to fear or avoid. It is the most important moment of your existence. The moment everything is revealed, if you live in fear of death, it will control you. But if you embrace it with awareness and acceptance, you will transcend the fear that binds most souls. The Tibetan masters left these teachings behind for a reason, to help the few who are ready break free from the endless cycle of reincarnation. But to do so, we must see reality for what it truly is. We must prepare our minds while we are still alive, so that when death comes, we will not be lost in the illusions. The question is no longer about what happens after death, it's about whether we are truly prepared to face it. If you live with awareness, if you detach from fear and desire, you can transcend. The question is, will you be ready when your time comes?